Another record high this week for Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies in general are going bananas. So what is the real outlook on it? You may well know that a strategist by the name of Richard Bernstein, who's one of the smartest out there, came out with a short comment on Bitcoin. He calls it bitcon, which gives you some sense of what his view is, but he says first and foremost that Bitcoin actually satisfies the 5 key criteria for a financial bubble. Specifically, there's lots of liquidity, which allows gambling. There is lots of leverage, which allows people to bet a lot more than they have. This is coming from the futures market. There is democratization of the market. Don't know about you, but I'm hearing more and more about Bitcoin from folks I wouldn't expect to be interested in trading things that people don't understand. New issues. Thousands now of cryptocurrencies and initial coin offerings and trading volumes increasing. All of these things together, Richard Bernstein says, show that this is indeed most likely a bubble. The good news for Bitcoin speculators out there is he thinks it will continue because ultimately what causes bubbles to burst is the shutting off of the liquidity, which would be the Fed in this case if they start to tighten too much, be careful, and a running out of greater fools to take it off your hands and drive the price higher. Richard Bernstein thinks there are more fools out there who will rush in, so we should be good for a while yet. But we are very pleased to have with us our own cryptocurrency expert, Sara Silverstein. Sara, you are a true believer.
I'm an enthusiast.
What do you feel when you hear Richard Bernstein call it bitcon?
Well, that feels like it's malicious, and I don't believe that. But it could be a bubble. There's a lot of money going into a space that's brand new and where we don't know what the value is. And I do think that there's more money to come into that space. But I think there's a big difference between, we've heard people compare it to the tulip bubble and to the tech bubble. And those are completely different things. It's nothing like the tulip bubble to me, which was hysteria and madness. But it could be a little bit like the tech bubble in that after the tech bubble burst, it still remained a huge asset class. It's a huge part of our economy and is a big part of our market. And we don't know which cryptocurrency will be the Facebook or the MySpace or the Pets.com or the Amazon, but I do believe that cryptocurrencies will persist and remain an asset class. So like that, I think that it's fair to say that it might be like the tech bubble, but that it's nothing like the tulip bubble.
Tulips are useful for growing tulips. There's still a tulip business. People value them that way. But coming back to it, yes, there's definitely utility here. Bitcoin serves a purpose. It seems to be the leading candidate to be the dollar of cryptocurrencies. But agree with you, there is just simply no way to value it. And every time I hear somebody make some smart-sounding argument about, well, it should be some fraction of gold or GDP, just absurd. Just belly up to the table and roll those dice, because that is what you are doing. But you think, like Richard Bernstein, we are headed higher.
Yes, I do. And like Mike Novogratz, who also says it's a bubble, but he says that there's a lot more money to come into it, and including his fund. He has a huge hedge fund that's cryptocurrency-based, and we haven't seen institutional money go into it. We just saw futures. So I think there's a lot more money that's going to go into this space. Just like with tech, we saw a lot of money going in before anybody was making any money. There was no revenue, but there was.
Great. And the good news about no intrinsic value is it literally could go to $1 million, which we've said before, and $1. So we have an exciting future ahead of us. Thank you, Sara.
Thanks.